Welcome everyone to another Detroit Children's Museum video. Behind the camera is Mr. Don. My name is Mr. C. Welcome, and again, thank you for joining us. Today we are going to analyze some of our objects that reside in our collection. We're going to look at these objects here. Now I'm going to choose 3 of them to place focus, and what I want you and I to do is not only first collect some data, some information about the objects using this document from the National Archives entitled Analyze an Artifact or Object. We can send you a copy. This is also found on SharePoint. Okay? I like laminating these because you can write on both sides, circle things, erase it like with a dry erase marker, then you can erase it to save some paper, conserve some paper. Of the objects you see here on the table, I'm going to choose this one and this one. It's kind of hiding from you, but there's 2 more right here. And I'm excited, so I might be shaking a little bit because I used to have this one, something very, very similar to this one. All right, what are these objects? Some clues from the other things on the table, the ones I showed you. What do you think they are? Place that answer in a short phrase or even a sentence. What do you think it is or they are under Meet the Artifact? If you don't have this document, just use a simple piece of paper, a journal. I know you keep journals, okay? Scientific journals, math journals, literacy journals. It's all literacy, folks. Building that vocabulary, very important. Under observing the parts, and we're going to kind of do this as a collective, but you can focus on 1 or more of the 3 that I showed you. What do you think the object or objects are made out of? You circle all that apply. If you don't see something that's written there, add your own, okay? Maybe you think it's made of rubber, for example. Rubber's not on here. There's leather, there's ceramic pottery, there's bone, there's stone, wood, metal, but that wood is not on there, so you could add and then circle that if you think, or some other word. Very descriptive, very smart people, very smart. Again, build that vocabulary. How do you think the object feels? What is its texture? Sometimes you can tell by its looks, just by looking, but feel is another sense. It's employing another sense, the sense of touch. How does it feel? Okay? And you would circle all that you think apply to its texture. You wouldn't really know through the video if it's heavy or light. What do you think? Make a prediction. There's no wrong or incorrect answers. Smooth? Is it soft? Hard? Rough? Heavy? Light? Then on the right-hand column there, or right-hand side of the document, it reads at the top, try to make sense of this. What do you think the objects were used for? Who do you think would have used the objects? What does the object tell us about the time period when it was made and used? And do we still use these objects today? If so, how is it different? Compare or contrast what you've seen or do use today and how these are going to be used. And I'm going to demonstrate how they're used, okay, or how they've been used. What do you think the object was used for? Who do you think would have used the object? Well, let's take a look at one of these objects. This one here first. And I'm going to demonstrate how this was used. So collect some information, write down some data regarding what do you think the object was used for? Who do you think would have used the object? What does the object tell us about the time period? This one I will tell you is from the 50s and 60s. Although the decor and style of its artistry goes back to about the 1850s, 1870s, we believe here at the museum that this was made in maybe the 1950s, 1960s, somewhere around there. Okay? And it's also from Japan. This is the one that I had. Very exciting. It remained at my great-grandmother's house, and we would play with it when we'd visit great-grandma. How do you think these work? You young engineers, mechanical engineers, probably more specifically, how do you think these work? And at the bottom of the document, it reads, use it as historical evidence. Where do you think you could find out more information about the object, these objects, or the people that use them? You can always contact Don or I at the Detroit Children's Museum, but you can ask your teachers. You could ask, your family members. Especially, ask your grandparents. Ask your great-grandparents. Okay, have them share stories. Maybe they've used these objects. All right, what are they? These are toys. These are historical toys. Some as many as 100 years old. More of the toys here we have are about 50 to 60 years old, the time they were created. Like I mentioned, this one came in 1979 to the museum's collection. From all over the world, we have toys from Germany. This was designed by an engineer, a toy maker, it's an engineer in Germany. And again, that's from Japan. And we think this was built in the United States. More specifically, what type of toys are they? They're tops. Some people refer to them as spinning tops. And yes, we do still use them today. How do you think they work? With all the data that you collected, well, thank you for joining us today for another Detroit Children's Museum video. Join us again soon. On behalf of Mr. Don, who's behind the camera, I am Mr. C. You take care. Bye-bye.